Mad scramble in the middle of Lithgow.
The situation in Bangladesh has become dire for many.
Cars and homes were washed away.
If we don't take action, the collapse of our civilizations and the extinction of much of the natural world is on the horizon.
Warnings of impending climate disasters, growing in urgency.
Heavenly Father, please help us.
Last month, the US government produced a landmark report on climate change and its impacts.
Telemetry is showing that Arctic sea ice is at its lowest levels on record.
In northern Siberia, it hit 100.4 degrees.
We are looking right now at the all-time record heat for the month of June.
A catastrophic Category 4 hurricane bearing down on the U.S.
Hello viewers, I'm Lamin.
And I am Lucas.
And yes, climate change is real.
Firstly, we need to know what climate change actually is. Climate change, as the name suggests, is a change in global or regional climate patterns in a certain time frame. Climate change can be first recognized after around 30 years.
Now, how do we determine climate change? Usually, meteorologists measure certain weather patterns. These measurements are then compiled in an ascending timescale, where the change can be determined. The most common weather condition that is measured is the temperature. NASA researchers have found that the temperature has risen to a staggering 1 degree since the year of 1980. Now that might seem very little, but even this increases some serious problems.
We all might already know that the leading factor of the climate change are the emissions of greenhouse gases. However, from where do these emissions come? Is it man-made? And why do greenhouse gases seem to be dangerous? Well, let me answer why greenhouse gases are endangering. Firstly, we need to be informed that there is a difference between a natural greenhouse effect and a dangerous one. The natural greenhouse effect allows the sun to reflect heat into the earth. The air, the water and the ground can therefore naturally absorb the sun's heat. However, the greenhouse gases cause to trap more heat from the sun than needed. This causes a higher temperature, which is why this type of process is dangerous.
Now I will explain to you viewers from where these endangering gases are emitted from. Let's start with the exhalation of all animals, including humans. We humans and animals breathe out carbon dioxide, one of the most common greenhouse gases there is. This carbon dioxide though is not harmful, as it is a different type of carbon dioxide, or a different type of isotope to be exact. Not to forget, these also get absorbed by plants so that they can gain energy. The sad truth is that we humans have created these dangerous gases through the combustion of oils, coals, trees, so that we can gain energy, and also because of the heavy ongoing industrialization. We are endangering the world we live in, a world like no other. The types of greenhouse gases sadly come from the production of using fossil fuels, showing us the tragic truth that we are the leading factors of the death of our own planet.
What are the consequences and problems we have to face due to the ongoing climate change? The simple answer to this is that there will be more natural disasters. Obviously, we get an increase of temperature, which will cause the ice of the poles to melt. More droughts and desertifications will happen. The melted ice will cause a rise of the sea level, followed by more floodings and monsoons like the ones we see in Bangladesh.
There could even be more volcanic activity due to the climate change. But these are all worst case scenarios, and this will only happen if we keep on going like we are now. There's still hope that we can fix this drastic problem. As we have mentioned before, we emit gases for the production of electrical power or to transport ourselves with vehicles by using fossil fuels. But this does not have to be. The solution to this problem is that we have to use renewable energies. There are an immeasurable amount of renewable energies that we can utilize. To name a few, we have hydro energy, solar energy, wind energy, biothermal energy, and we could even use our own urine, as it contains sugar which some bacteria feed on, and these bacteria then produce electrical energy. However, many refute the idea of using renewable sources, as many claim that they are impractical, expensive, and uncontrollable. But to our findings, they are none of what was mentioned. Here we have a video of us creating a hydroelectrical generator.
The materials we used to create the hydroenergy generator are plexiglass, wood, screws, a DC motor and a small light bulb. As you can see, we are measuring a rectangle on the plexiglass. The rectangle is 20 centimeters long and 2.5 centimeters wide. Then we cut out two rectangles of the same measurements. The two rectangles then get sawed off in half, which will make us 4 equal strips of plexiglass. We then make a little gap in the middle of the strips so that the strips can connect to each other. These rectangles connected create our water wheel. The water wheel must also be made out of plexiglass or plastic, as it needs to be waterproof. Next we had a cylindrical wooden stick where we made a hole in it. We then drew a line on the little stick. After making a gap through the line, we checked if the wheel could fit in it. And well, it fit perfectly. We then shortened the size of the wood so that it can fit in the motor. We made another hole where a turbine could fit in.
As you can see here, we're screwing in a wooden plane to a wooden cube. Combined, these two will make us our hydroenergy generator base. Now we're screwing in our motor using some metal brackets. Here we see that the cylindrical stick fits into the turbine. Afterwards, we sawed off two wooden cubes which would later on be used as wooden stands for our hydroenergy generator. We would then go on to make tiny holes on the wooden cubes. These would later on get drilled. After the drilling process, we screwed in the wooden cubes or the wooden stands to the wooden base of our hydroenergy generator. Lastly, we hammered in the small light bulb to our base. The small light bulb was also pre-soldered on the DC motor. Introducing our hydroelectrical generator. Here we see our generator in action. The movement of the water and wheel creates kinetic energy. This kinetic energy then turns the gears of our motor, transforming it into electrical energy, which lights our bulb. However, there was very limited lighting coming from our generator. We could have improved this by using LED diodes, but at the end we had satisfactory results.
You might imagine that this project must be an expensive project, however this is not. All in all, this cost us around 8 euros. The most expensive part was the motor. You might say it is a little motor, but even bigger motors like this are inexpensive and easy to find. So I firmly believe that renewable energy is a great way to solve this massive problem. I also think this sort of energy is very practical and controllable.
It is so practical, you can even use this in your toilet. Every flush you would gain a bit of electricity. To my calculations in Darmstadt, there are around 160,000 people. If each one went to the toilet twice a day and flushed twice a day, we would gain 320 times 12 volts of electricity. In total, we would get a lot of electricity. But obviously, this generator would be more practical if we used it somewhere with flowing water, such as near rivers, or for example also in dams.
In conclusion, we learned a lot about climate change. We have learned the causes, if any. We showed you how climate change is determined.
We talked about solutions regarding the problem of climate change and even made a hydroenergy generator, showing you how amazing, practical and better they are than fossil fuels, which are the leading cause of the climate change.
Now it's time to say goodbye.
And we can only say thank you for watching our video.
Goodbye.